Alright guys, good morning, good evening, good afternoon from wherever you're watching, and welcome back to European Racing Organization. After a break of 2 long weeks, I'm back in the commentary box for this F4 race in Season 6, and this time around we are in Austria, the Red Bull Ring, hoping for a great race. I think 17 people have joined us, so should be a good race, which is on one of the shortest tracks on the calendar, but plenty of racing here because of long straights for overtaking. So let's go. I will check a little bit on what's going on in the championship. I have been a little bit out of sorts here in terms of what's going on. So once I have seen the standings, we can probably talk through it about who's leading and who needs to catch up. But for people who are watching, just let me know if I'm audible on the stream, because I'm not too sure if I am audible. So just let me know if you can hear me, and we'll take it from there. Let's see what the weather is like firstly, because yeah, it's a pretty dry qualifying right now, so pretty sunny. Not sure what the race is going to be. So alright, what's going on in the drivers championship? Murphy is leading. So is Murphy racing tonight? He is in the McLaren Murphy 2828. He is leading and he won the last race, so that should be fun. Kogucic in P2, he is 16 points behind Murphy. Yano in P3, who is a further 24 points away from Kogucic. So those are the top three drivers as far as the drivers championship are concerned. And in terms of constructors, I think the Rogers and Lees, who I believe are Murphy and Lees in the McLaren. So these are the drivers who are leading the championship, and Mercedes is behind. So what's the gap? The gap is 29 points. It's a pretty healthy gap for the Mercedes. And let's have a look. What does Lees do? I think there's a Haas up ahead. I'm assuming that is Smarty. Yeah, Smarty is the first car out on track, I believe. So he will be the first person to put in a hot lap. And as I said, this is a short track, so you can expect people to go for multiple runs on the same set of tires, maybe go 2 out laps and burn off that excess fuel. But Murphy, here he goes into turn 9 and then into the last corner to start his first lap of the session. Well held there as far as track limits are concerned, and he is on his way to pick his first braking zone into turn 1, taking a lot of curb, goes a little bit wide I think, but he has still kept his lap time, so that's pretty good. He has a Ferrari up ahead. He's getting a distant tow from the Ferrari, who should be probably getting out of the way on the approach to turn 2. It is King who has come out on his hot lap, and there he goes. You can see that's what we like to see, making his intentions very clear about what part of track he will occupy. And Smarty is on his way downhill braking into turn 4, taking a lot of curb on the entry, avoids the curb on the exit, and then into the section of the track which requires almost all the downforce you need. I think that's pretty much one of those faster corners in the track, as he takes a moderate amount of curves into turn 7 and 8 before approaching turn 9 here. Let's see how much curb he takes. He takes not a lot, avoids the inside curb absolutely, but this is going to be a decent banker lap for Smarty. Let's see where it puts him. It puts him at a 104.768, and I'm sure there's more lap time for him, as Lees goes P2 with the exact same lap time, to the thousandths of a second. He is in P3 as Miyake is on his lap, as Giroud has put his Aston Martin on top with a 104.414. So good laps at the start of the session, as Racing Gupta now goes P1 with a set of medium tires. So he's also an alternate strategy, as is Miyake, is the man whom we are following right now. He goes a little bit wide of that corner and is lucky to keep that lap time, and he goes right to the edge of the track again. So he's using all the track limits possible, Miyake, and he is probably gaining time because of that as well. Final 2 corners to go as Koguchi goes P1 with a 104.0, almost going into the 103s. Where does Miyake go? It's a 104.8. So that's a medium time, and I'm not sure it will be putting him into the top 10s just yet. What does Sickle have to offer? He has invalidated his lap time. King has started his, and Giroud has gone even faster there. So on the same set of tires, that's what I'm talking about. This is a track where you will see people trying to go for multiple runs, and that's exactly what Giroud has done. 104.045 for Giroud, and that's a really good lap time. And let's see, we're still yet to see anyone into the 103s, so I'm sure someone or the other will put their lap times into the 103s, maybe even mid 103s. There are 3 cars there, and Yano does very well to move out of the way, but I think there are a couple of more cars up ahead, or just one Alpine maybe for King, and he's using all the track possible. He has put a good sector. I'm not sure if it was purple, but now King is on his way to complete his first hot lap of the session using all the curb on the exit. Across the line he comes, and he is P4 with a 104.3. So 10 people putting laps so far. What does Sickle have to do? Is he going for another run? No, he is not. He's coming back into the pits. So that is the first set of tires ruined for the Alfa Romeo driver, as Yano, who was making way for King earlier, is on a lap time. And let's follow on board. Let's ride on board for the rest of the lap here for him and see what he does. So approaching turn 4, downhill braking, using a lot of the curb once again, and that was pretty nicely done. Once again avoiding the curb on the exit to get better traction out of that corner, and going down to the 4th gear before short shifting to 5th and 6th, using a lot of gear changes to go through the lap. He goes slightly wide, and I think that is his lap done. Yeah, it is. And who's improving meanwhile? Murphy has gone P5 on a 3-lap old tires. There is a car behind him. Murphy's giving way now, but I think that was Alpha Tauri, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, that was Alpha Tauri of Kogucic. So I think both of them were on out laps. So I think it should be fine, although I'm not entirely sure. What does Yano do? Yano is still out on track, but he has, I think, used one set of tires. Lees is on an out lap as well, so that is going to be his second run for the German driver in the McLaren. And his team, well, meanwhile Murphy is finally coming back into the pits. So after almost a stint of 3 laps, he's back into the pits. Oh, Kogucic, what happened to him? What is he up to there? What just happened to him? We just caught him. There's a Williams there as well, and something would have happened at turn 1. That is the most unusual sight I have seen all week. And well, let's go on board, or let's follow around with Lees, who's once again starting his second hot lap of the session. And Lees is, let's see if he's up on his time when he crosses the first sector split. He's up by almost 0.04 of a second, takes the turn 3 pretty nicely there, and it's a good rotation, and was able to get on the power quite quickly. And this is looking like a good lap so far, as he has half a lap to go, but he needs to improve by a couple of tenths if he wants a significant change in his position. Keeps his car in 5th gear before going to 6th and then back to 5th. No, yeah, he goes to 5th. There's a car behind which was off the track once again, maybe giving way, It was someone who didn't really catch who it was, but Leeds is using all the track on the exit, and I think he lost a little bit time in the final corner. That wasn't the best of it. But across the line he comes. He improves by 3 tenths to go P5 and out qualifies his teammate for now, who is in P6, the set of mediums. Now you can see Racing Gupta, who's in the pits, has put in a lap time on the mediums, but he is now fitted on the soft tires, so maybe does not really want to gamble on that mediums and do the option strategy and try to qualify on the fastest tire possible and take his race from there. As Giroud now, does he come into the pits or he finish his lap? I think he's going to finish his lap. That means he must be improving. He goes wide there, but the game does not give him any kind of a penalty or a warning. Across the line goes Giroud, and he is improving very slightly, just by 6,000ths of a second. Simracing, meanwhile, what a lap from him. P3 on a set of mediums. What a lap from Simracing with a 104.2. And with half the session yet to go, that looks like a really solid time. Let's try to catch someone who is on a hot lap. I think Bios is on one, the Williams driver. He has Red Bull in front of him, but should not be a problem as he misses the apex by a little bit. But the final corner was nicely taken. He goes absolutely wide, but the game still allows that, and he is into P10. So I think he improved by a couple of tenths, but yeah, that's P10 for Bios on 3-lap old tires. So he should be hoping to get good lap times on a fresh set of softs with lower fuel soon. Kogocic, who is on an out lap right now, the gap between him and Giroud is not much. It's hardly 300ths of a second, so maybe Kogocic can snatch provisional pole here. Let's have a look as he's on an out lap, and then let's get rid of all the things which are distracting us and go on board with the Alpha Tauri driver and see what he does. Braking hard for turn 1. I'm not sure if he would have gained time from there, but now he approaches turn 3. We'll know soon enough. He is down by 1.5 tenths, so that's how much he lost in turn 1. It didn't look like the best of the lines through there, and I think he will have to go again because this lap time is not going to help him. And let's see who else is on a lap. Murphy is on a good lap, but he has invalidated it, so he will have to scroll back into the pits. Is Spider on a lap? He is. And the Williams is now approaching turn 3. This puts a 16.2 on his soft, so I think that's a respectable lap time as Evan Bera was wheeled into the pits. What is Spider up to then as he approaches turn 4? He seems to have a clear track ahead of him. There's a couple of cars which he might catch before the end of the lap, but for now they are far away. You can see on the minimap on the right hand side as plenty of drivers I've seen going into the 4th gear, which I did not imagine would have been the case, but this is turning out to be a good lap from Spider. Just as I say that, he has invalidated his lap time and he is ducking back into the pits, and that's a real shame because it was turning out to be a good lap. I think he was up by, oh, that's very wide from Racing Gupta, and that's his lap done as well. So let's see if he has enough fuel to go for another run. Meanwhile, Kogocic has invalidated as well, so we're seeing a lot of lap times being deleted for these employees, so for the racers rather. So I think it's difficult to what was that pit entry? Pit entry by Kogocic, I would never know. But King meanwhile is on a good lap. He's up by a tenth, and if he continues to keep this advantage, he will be maybe around Simracing, maybe even overtake him in the standings. Across the line he comes and he goes P2. Wow, what an improvement that is. Almost getting onto the provisional pole, but he's on the front row nonetheless, and he still has time to go for one more lap. Is Lee's on a good lap? He is. I think he just finished one, and Lee's has put his car in P7. He is taking some slipstream from his teammate ahead. Now Lee's is down by a tenth here, almost losing the car at the exit or the traction zone of turn 3, but this might not be a great lap. There's a car up ahead which is not moving out of the way. That's Hollow Man in the Red Bull, and Lee's definitely looks like on a second push lap, but he's being held up massively by Hollow Man. Hollow Man finally moves out of the way, but I think the damage has already been done, as you can see, losing out massively in the second sector 4 and a bit tense, as King does complete his lap, so maybe he wants to go for another run. Maybe recharge his batteries and try to go for another run, as it takes a lot of curb on the entry and the exit, but keeps his time nonetheless, the Ferrari driver. Let's see how his first sector is going to be. It's a 15.8, so that is the fastest first sector we have seen all race long, or all qualifying session, and he has a clear track ahead of him. So despite being held up a little bit by other drivers in sector 2 of the last lap, he still has found the confidence and the tires to keep it going, and this could very well be a provisional pole lap or even pole lap with just 2 minutes to go. He is improving by further 2 tenths, so hang on, this could be the lap which puts the Ferrari on pole in Austria. Let's have a look as he approaches the final 2 corners. Does King puts it nicely within the track limits, almost running wide there, but he keeps it line. It's a 103.784, and what a lap time that is from the Ferrari driver, the only man in the 103s right now. And wow, what an absolutely brilliant lap from King there. So what is everyone else up to? We have 1.5 minutes to go, at least on the stream. The drivers sometimes have more time than what you see here on the stream. As Kovacic is now starting his hot lap, I believe. So he is hell-bent on starting on the mediums, and let's see, you can see almost all cars on the track right now. So Kovacic, let's come back to him a little bit later, but what he's doing, Hollow Man is not improving as such at the end of sector 2, and sector 3 he does not improve either. King, by the way, is still going for more runs. I'm not entirely sure what he's doing, because he's on 4 lap old tires. Smarty has retired, so has Hollow Man, and I'm not sure why Hollow Man has retired, but let's have a look. Does Racing Gupta go on another lap? I think he has just started his final hot lap of the session, so he will be catching the likes of Hollow Man, who has retired on track, and he is improving Racing Gupta by a tenth and a bit. As you can see, the car of Hollow Man retiring there, and let's see, does Kovacic have anything to answer? He is, I'm not sure what he's doing there. BIOS is probably going slow as well, so Racing Gupta is probably one of those top guys who can make up a few more positions. He is up by almost 2.5 tenths, more than that, so he could be another one. Oh, he has invalidated his lap time as well. So his lap is done, and it could have been a 103.813. That could have put him on the front row. Does anyone else have anything to offer? Oh, what was that? There's a car round. Was that Yano? No, it was some Mercedes. I'm not sure who. But that's qualifying done, I think, with King on pole, but with considerably worn tires. 4-lap old softs, and that is definitely going to compromise his race, unless Yano has lost his way. Unless it's a wet race and they don't really need to care about tires, but doesn't seem like to be a wet start, at least, because you can see Kogoch is trying to qualify on medium, so there would be no point of him doing that unless the race was dry, at least the race start. So I think that's qualifying done. Once the timer runs out, we should be seeing the final classifications on the stream, and after that we will be moving on to the race. Yeah, that's qualifying done, and you can see King is on pole, but his tires are going to be an issue for him. And Kogoch in P2, Giroud in P3, Yoloman in P4, Slimicam and Racing Gupta also starting on the mediums in P5 and P6. With Bios in P7, Murphy in P8, Lees in P9 and Sickle in P10. So these are the drivers who will start on the tires which you see on the screen right now, but everyone below them, which is Smarty, Black Wolf, Miyake, Ivan Belov, Adam Baker, Spider, Yano, and JML, I'll just call him JML, I don't know what to call him, will have free tire choice for the race start. So that's the qualifying session, guys. Hope you enjoyed it, and we will be soon moving into the formation lap and then the race. Let's take a quick 10-second break and we'll be back. Alright, welcome back everyone, and we are on for the race start. You can see everyone in the bottom 10 or the bottom half of the table except Yano, or rather it is Spider, who's on the hard tires. Everyone choosing to start on the medium tires, and you can see there's quite a big of a gap after Oloman there. So, oh, there's a car which is, what's that? This car which was not round, and King has absolutely sped here. He has to slow down now, because if the others take too long to reach him or reach the grid, the Ferrari driver will be sitting with cold tires. So let's hope he does slow down, but he doesn't show any sign of slowing down. This is a very weird formation lap I'm seeing, and as such we might see some incidents or some overtaking at the race start. So let's keep an eye out on that, as the pack has not bunched up. You can see 3 cars there, and then you can see all the other cars. Look at these cars, as King has already reached the grid, and he's going to now slow down, but thankfully for him this is a small track, a short track, which is why it won't hurt him as much. But yeah, 18 drivers on the grid, and so not a very long run down to turn 1, so the drivers would be hoping to capitalize on any mistakes which others around have for the start. But here we go, the grid is set, as you can see on the screen. And can we get a good view of the turn 1? I think we have, if it starts pretty soon. And I think, yeah, that's the lights, 3, 4, 5 lights on the grid, lights out, and we are underway. It's a good start from Jamil Kogucic. Does he challenge the Ferrari into turn 1? He does, and there's a little bit of contact from the Aston Martin behind, but Kogucic is through. But King is getting a good run. Let's stay on board with Holloman here. And is King going down the inside? He does not, but there's a little bit of a bunching up, and that's a good overtake, or well held by Giroud on Holloman. And Racing Gupta, by the way, has gone to the end of the screen. There's more contact coming behind. You can see it's Simracing going wide there, but from his exhaust you can see the cars queuing up to get past. But as things stands, what happened to Racing Gupta? He's at the, I think he qualified P6, so he must have had a horrible start. Simracing is getting overtaken by Bios, and that's him into P6. Now he is under pressure from his other rival, which is Sickle, who is just behind him. As further behind, Smarty and Ero F4 moves. Bios has lost it. Oh, and he's losing his car a little bit more there. There's a sector 1 yellow flag, and oh, he's losing it a bit more there, and he has lost his right hand plate. Well, there's some problem with my audio here. I'm not able to hear everything well. Yeah, now seems to be fine. So in all that, Kogucic has taken the lead from King, and he is pulling away a little bit. Ivan Belov. Oh, there was someone going really wide there. Was it Yano who went really wide and losing a few places because of that? But let's go on board with Giroud, who's trying a move on King, and DRS has been enabled now. You can see the rear wing open as Giroud closes up to King once again, and this battle for the lead of the race is going to hot up pretty soon, because right now those soft tires will be faster than the mediums, but at the same time Kogucic seems to have a lot of rate. As what's happening behind, Simracing trying to make his way past Solomon, and I think Simracing will have to stay behind for now. Now let's go back to the battle for the lead, as King is being chased by Giroud, but King himself is not very far behind. From Kogucic. So King will get DRS, and he will keep getting DRS. So that's not something which Giroud will like, but he will have to live with it. It's Austria, it's a short track, lot of straights, but Giroud has had a fantastic run out of turn 1. Simracing finally does get past Holloman. Does Giroud send it? He does. He goes down the inside, and what a move that is. Little bit of a wheel banging, and King has to stay in front there, as he does. Does Jin go back once again? No, Giroud does not, so he stays behind in P3. And all the while, all this battling is helping Kogucic a little bit, because after maybe 7-8 laps, those medium tires will really come into play, and that's where he can, stretch his legs a little bit, Kovacic, and stay in front as McLaren. Oh, what happened there? Slimicam losing heaps of position because of it's a yellow flag, but doesn't seem to be any safety car or virtual safety car. It's just a spinning out. Slimicam, I'm sure, can continue. And Spider and Lees are fighting meanwhile. They're still fighting. And Spider takes the position for now. Up ahead, the top three are still separated by less than or almost a second there, but it is not working out for Giroud for the time being, and I think the longer Kovacic stays in the lead, the better it is for him, because he will have the strategy advantage at the top. But Ivan Belov is making a move now. He has on Oloman, so what a great start it has been to the race from the Russian driver, and he will be hoping to close up to the leaders now, who have kind of ran away with this 3.4 seconds gap within a space of 5 laps. So there's a bit of a gap which has formed between P3 and P4, and Ivan Belov would want to slot in pretty easily on that, as Kovacic gets a 3-second time penalty already, as Oloman is in the pits. So that's a very early pit stop, and pretty sure that's a wing change for him. As let's see if King is now close enough. He is, and he's going to make this simple move on Kovacic. So this should be an easy one, as they still touch a little bit, and Kovacic is not going to let it go easily, as King is trying once again using all his ERS, and down the inside he goes. You can see from his rear wing. In fact, let's go on board with Giroud here, because that gives him really good right for that, as he tries to switch back, almost tries to take advantage of the battling up front, but Kovacic still remains in the lead. And what a titanic battle the guys are having. They've almost been side by side for the entire lap there. Kovacic lives to fight another day, but he has to be careful about his time penalties now. Let's see what King does. Does he stay behind for one more lap? No, he does not. He does not want to wait. I think he might have gone a little bit deeper into the first corner. Giroud has had a good run. King does not have DRS. Can Giroud take both of them in one swoop? No, he cannot. And he has collided with another driver. I think he collided with Kovacic there, and he has lost a massive portion of his end plate there. King has a penalty as well in all that. Giroud is still without a penalty, but he is without some carbon elements or front wings as well. Further behind, Miyake almost trying to get past, or trying to stay ahead of JML. As JML has made a good start. I think he was at the bottom of the grid, so that's a great start from him in the first few laps, picking up a lot of positions there, 10 or 11 to be precise. And this is going to be a move maybe incoming. Giroud is in the pits, by the way, and that's for his wing change. And a lot of people do get drive penalties or time penalties, as JML now is on the back of Miyake once again. Miyake does not have much to defend with, but I think he will still stay in front for now. No, he does not. JML running into the back of him. Zickle gets a time penalty and all that, and JML has now a 5-second penalty for collision with Miyake. That looked like a really late braking from JML, which resulted him into losing his wing, plus giving some maybe damage to Miyake. Not sure, but it was definitely very late from JML. Well, let's see what Miyake does with Lees now, because Miyake lost a few positions because of that incident, as Adam Baker puts the fastest lap of the race on medium tires, so he has a lot of pace and he's in clean air right now. As oh, Miyake, it's all kicking off here. There's a yellow flag in sector 1. Skogocic and King are fighting for positions again. Does Skogocic go for any kind of a move? He does not. He's almost pushing King through as Oloman gets the fastest lap of the race in P14 because of his early pit stop. What a battle for the lead it has been. And because of the nature of the track, there are battles all around. Miyake has lost more positions because of his spin at the exit of turn 1, and that promotes the likes of Black Wolf, Yano and Racing Gupta a place each. So the battle for the lead still on. 3 tenths, 2 tenths, 2.5 tenths is the gap, and this time can Skogocic make it through? No, he cannot for now. He's using all his DRS and he's going to go down the inside. Let's see if he has outbreaker himself. He has a little bit, he has, and it is the Ferrari who will have the inside line and the DRS, as Skogocic has to stay behind for now. So that's King who has taken the lead of the race again, as Black Wolf is through on Liege. So Liege was battling Miyake a few laps before. Sickle has retired. Sickle has retired, and is that going to be a safety car? King has pit, so that's his first stint done. Skogocic is now the race leader. Does Liege have anything to offer versus Black Wolf? Not sure, but it's an early pit stop for sure for Liege. I'm not sure. King is out on the mediums now, and he'll be out in P9, but I'm not sure if he will have enough tires left at the end, as Liege and Black Wolf are battling as well. And the two Mercedes are now running P6 and P7. Yano has a good run as well, and you can clearly see Black Wolf letting him through for Yano to make good use of his pace right now. They are on different strategies obviously. Yano is looking like a much faster driver, and this is why he has been unleashed on Liege now. Let's see if Yano can make it work and he can make a move. I think he's pretty close, just 3 tenths away from the McLaren driver, so it should be an easy or straightforward move for Yano. But does he go for it into turn 1? He does. No, he does not. He backs out of it. I think that's pretty smart, and just wait until turn 3. That's a much longer straight and a much clinical move can be done. Yano pulls to the left and then joins the braking line, covers up the exit, and he is into P5 now. So Liege in a bit of a Mercedes sandwich, but yeah, you can see a lot of drivers on the medium tires right now, and most of them have either pitted or had incidents on lap 1, as Slimicam has lost a place to GML, but GML will fight back. Let's see what GML does. He has a good run on Slimicam, as Giroud puts the fastest lap of the race again on the fresh softs he has. He's down in P16 for now, and that's because of that wing damage he had. So for now, not in a points paying position, but still almost 2/3 of the race to go. So I think could happen, as Oloman and Spider has had an incident, which is why he was facing the opposite direction there. The sector 3 yellow flag should be fine, as Black Wolf goes on the attack. Can he go past Liege like his teammate? Well, not yet. But the move is coming, as Racing Gupta is behind these two drivers. For any kind of a mistake they make, Racing Gupta will be hoping to capitalize on that. Oh, Kovacic gets another 3-second time penalty. So while he's leading the race, he keeps getting these penalties. It won't be very easy for him to actually take the checkered flag and still remain P1. Here is Black Wolf now. Does he go for an attack? He does not, but he gets a good run out of turn 1, and he's using his battery as well as DRS, and this should be an easy straightforward move. So that's the second Mercedes now past Leash, and the Mercedes are literally having a really good race. Miyake is trying to salvage his race back. He's in a drag race with Smarty, and Miyake is going to outbrake Smarty, so that's him into P11. Racing Gupta, by the way, has had a 3-second time penalty, so that's not great. Leash has gotten past Black Wolf again, so Leash is not making it easy at all. And our net race leader, or the person who was fighting for the race lead once upon a time, Leash, is very patient right now. He knows this is not his fight. He knows every one of these drivers need to pit at least once, while Leash might be hoping to go to the end. Racing Gupta might go for a move down the inside. He does, but what a line from Leash. He might take both of them. He does. What an overtake there from the Ferrari driver. Can he get the McLaren as well? White is at it. He can, maybe. Goes down the inside, and that's a very controlled move as Leash is pushed wide a little bit. But what a move that is. Oh my god, King. He made 3 overtakes within a span of 2 corners there, and he's into P6 now with some clean air before he finds the likes of Yano. So in all this, Black Wolf has gotten past Leash as well, and now Racing Gupta is itching to make his way past. Let's see where Leash puts his car. He's put his car on the left. As Racing Gupta go for a move, he tries, but it's not going to work out on this occasion for him. Racing Gupta goes wide once again, and here he goes. He gets a good exit out of the final corner and down the inside into turn 1. Racing Gupta goes deep, and he will have DRS going up the hill, but Leash will have the advantage of slipstream as well. Let's see if Leash can go for a move here. No, he does not. So that's Racing Gupta solidifying his P8 right now. I think it is. He tries to go for a move or a lunge, but almost traps Racing Gupta there. And well, that's Leash into P9. He has lost a few positions in the last few laps, so he'll be hoping to make his soft tires work, as Murphy has stayed out for one more lap. Does Leash pit now? I think this is definitely pit window territory. He does. Just as we say that, Leash is in the pits. Racing Gupta and Black Wolf were fighting, and Racing Gupta has made his way through. Yano and King were fighting. King has made his way through into turn 1. Does Murphy have DRS? He does. So Black Wolf gets a 5-second time penalty, 3-second time penalty rather, for track limits. And Yano and King are battling once again. King has gotten past the Mercedes driver once again, but it will be the... well, how did neither of them get DRS? I would not know. But yeah, that's Yano into P6, King into P5, and further back Racing Gupta is... oh, is it raining right now? It is. I just thought there was some rain, and it is raining right now. Wow, this throws a spanner into the works. It is raining, and well, what do you know? What if Murphy stays out for one more lap? He does. I think he's trying to go to the intersperious maybe, as Racing Gupta and Kokochis has stayed out for one more lap once again. So this will definitely help the medium runners. If it's going to rain pretty soon, they can straight away pit from the intermediates, and it's pretty hard right now, the rain. So maybe in a lap or two we will already see the intermediate tires coming out. So be prepared for that, guys. I think we will see some wet weather racing here. Adam Baker is on intermediates already, and I think it's too early. The track is nowhere wet enough. It's definitely raining and it's getting there, but I think it's nowhere early, as King has made his way through, and King is now in P3, and I think he's in a very good position here. Inters made one more stop as Murphy goes into the pits. Does he go on enters now? It's definitely getting heavier, the rain, and it is going to be intermediate tires pretty soon. Whether this lap is the right call or not, I'm not entirely sure. You can see Adam Baker, who is on the inter. Solomon has pit as well. Murphy has come out on a set of intermediate tires. A yellow flag in sector 2, which is now removed, and with 16 or 17 laps to go, let's see what happens. There is another yellow flag. Is that for Giroud? It is for Giroud, who's not having the best of the times. And King is now slowly but surely catching up to Kokochis. King's tires are much more grippier and better in shape, and everyone is trying to tiptoe their way around the track. This is not the best of the conditions, as Murphy is through on his teammate, so that is going to happen. Kokochich, A1 below board in the pits. Does King go on for one more lap? He does. So King is going on for one more lap. Bios has retired from the session. Not sure where that is, but Kokochich is on the hards. What? Surely that's a mistake. Kokochich is going on the hard tires, so I think he forgot maybe to change his tires or change his tire strategy. There's a yellow flag because Bios has retired. There are people in the pits. Yano is in the pits, who has stuck on a set of intermediate tires there. Slimmy Cam has a penalty, so it's all kicking off right now. Miyake and Kokochis are battling right now. It's definitely Inter's time here, and Miyake is making his way through, so he has to tiptoe his way around now, because King, I think, should be coming in at the end of this lap. So I'm not sure what has happened there. Kokochich is losing more time, and that is really unfortunate for him. He could have maybe won this race. King is going on for one more lap. What? Racing Gupta is in. He makes the smart decision. Why is King on one more lap? It is surely enters. You can see on he's struggling like anything. He's going to lose so much time here. Kokochich in the pits, so is Miyake. Ivan Bello will carry on, and he will be the race leader now. What a race it has been. Leach gets a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane, and it's Giroud, who is probably a lap down, who has also come out on a set of intermediate tires. But King probably has thrown away the win here. He was running so well, and now he is going to lose at least 3 or 4 positions if he's not careful there. He's losing more and more time, corner after corner. You can see it is absolutely wet here. I'm not sure how he's even able to keep that Ferrari. Is he going for one more lap? Or is he coming in now? And finally common sense prevails, and he is in the pits. Is King. Oh, lost the car. He gets a 5-second time penalty, plus I think he has wing damage now because of it. Yes, that's the wing damage. So it has all gone from bad to worse, as Murphy is now into P3, as Ivan Belov is the race leader, and Murphy will probably overtake King as well. It's going to be close at the exit. Let's see where Ivan Belov is. Ivan Belov at the exit of the corner, and it's going to be close. Murphy using all his time he can, but no, it's King into P2, and that was really lucky for him because he had a wing change. He had a 5-second time penalty which will be added to his race time at the end, but that has not helped him at all, the Ferrari driver. But in all this, with 14 laps to go, it's Ivan Belov who leads from King and Murphy. Racing Gupta, who started P6, was dropped down to the last, is now running in P4 with a 3-second time penalty. So you can see more or less everyone is probably going to the end. So let's turn our attention to penalties now, because this is going to be important now. Everyone on the intermediate tires, similar lives, and if the rain stays like this, they will all go to the end, but time penalties will then decide how the race will turn out for these people. A Spider has retired in the session, and that's in the pit lane, so it should be fine. We hope that there's no safety car as such. It doesn't seem like it. There's still yellow flag on the start finish straight, but it should be fine. And the gaps you can see are now emerging a little bit, so that is because there's no DRS, so it's easier to follow cars when you get that rear being open on the front straight. But just as I said that, there's an overtake done, but I think that's because Yano is in the pits, and Yano is, well, I don't understand why he made that pit stop if there was no wing change, but apparently he needed to do that. And now it's a 13 lap dash to the finish line for these people. Let's see if anyone can work out a strategy to win this race. Ivan Belov definitely in a great position right now. You can see he's P1, his Aston Martin, and he has a very healthy 9-second gap. So unless there's a safety car, which is possible in these conditions, but unless there's a safety car, Ivan Belov looks good. He has his teammate in front of him, that's Giroud, who is trying to be on the same lap as the leaders. So one Aston Martin in P1, the other languishing in P15, about to be lapped, as Adam Baker gets a 3-second time penalty as well. So that is 9 seconds in total for Adam Baker, and not the best of the races for him. So that's Ivan Belov into P1, having a good healthy gap. Slavicam gets penalties as Kogucic has almost made a move on Racing Gupta, who has went very deep into turn 4 there. Racing Gupta defends the inside line and takes back the racing line. Oh, but he goes more wide there, so he's losing traction, but not traction, maybe his braking points are all wrong, as Kogucic slides into P4 there, and because of his time penalties, not sure if he can finish higher than that. Wow, so Giroud has retired from this session, and that's a safety car, and that is exactly not what Ivan Belov would have wanted there. Aston Martins, well, one side of the garage had a really good race so far, but the other side of the garage, Giroud, who was battling for the lead at one point in time, has now retired and has caused a safety car. Oh, what's happening with Blackfoot there? Losing a few positions, I thought. Is Kovacic in the pits? He is. So Kovacic is in the pits. I'm assuming he's going for another set of intermediate tires. He doesn't have a wing change, so I'm not sure why that was needed. Well, he has lost quite a few positions because of it. So because it's a safety car, we'll take a short break, we'll come back, and I think after that we will see maybe 8 laps or so of green flag racing. And the rain doesn't seem to have worsened a lot, so maybe it will stay like this for the rest of the race, who knows. We'll have a look once we are back from this short break. Well, I'm back everyone, and the safety car is still on. Is that Yano who's going very slow? Oh, he has spun. and yep, that's why he is detached from the pack. And Watch is asking for tires. I think I have disabled tires because everyone is on inters. Yano is in the pits, so he will have to be last as well, but it helps him to get a new set of tires. This is lap 29, so 7 laps after this. I think the safety car should be coming in at the end of this lap. So 7 laps of racing after this, and with the pack bunched up, anything could happen. You can see a lot of drivers having a time penalty, so that's only 4 drivers who are still running don't have any time penalty. There's Ivan Belov, Murphy, Miyake and Smarty. So these are the drivers. If they remain penalty free for the next 7 laps, they are bound to gain a lot of positions. Well, Belov is P1 anyway, but that's the margin he has, and that's how careful he can be. The safety car is in at the end of this lap, so we will be getting racing pretty soon. Yano will have to speed up if he wants to catch the pack. You can see he is going pretty fast here, but I'm not sure if he'll be able to make it in time to the back of the pack. He has now, so it's all fine and dandy. What's happening up front? It is Belov, Ivan Belov, who is still warming up his tires as Yano completes his lap, as Belov has finally gone, and with Blackwood right behind him. Is Blackwood going to go for a move? No, he's not, but meanwhile Leach has made a move, I think, on... Oh, Leach is done! Leach is drowned, and that's his race absolutely ruined. Ivan Belov is right now defending from the Mercedes of Black Wolf Racing. Gupta has lost it. Oh, what's going on there? Lots of cars taking the same piece of tarmac. So let's come back to this battle now. Murphy is into P3, and he's in a very good shot of a win here if he can clear Black Wolf. So let's stay on board. What's happening with King and Adam Baker? King trying to hold it round the outside. Can he make that move stick? No, he cannot. Has to stay behind for now. So this is a little bit of a hectic safety car restart for every cars around. Even Bello finally settling into it and probably getting good temperature in his tires, which is why he is more than a second up on Black Wolf. So it's going to be, as I said, a real dash to the end. There's a yellow flag once again. I believe that's for Racing Gupta, who has been a little bit out of shape, as Miyake is under pressure from Hollowman. Well, remember, Hollowman has a 3-second time penalty. Miyake does not. Leach is in the pits, and he is going to put another set of intermediate tires for its pit stop. What's happening further behind? King on the back of Adam Baker, but nothing doing so far. Simracing comes pretty close to him, but again, no DRS after the safety car restart. No DRS in these conditions at all because of intermediate tires. So it should be that much difficult to overtake, as Smarty gets another time penalty. So now it's just 3 drivers, and those are the 3 drivers who are most likely to finish on the podium, which is Ivan Belov, Black Wolf and Murphy. But Murphy does not want his P2 like that. He wants to take it on the track, so he will be trying his best to get past. As further behind, it's Yano on the back of JML, and Yano stays behind for Manola, but he gets a good run out of turn 1. Racing Gupta gets a 3-second penalty, which puts his penalties to 6. And up ahead is Kokocic, who was leading the race for some time. He goes for a move and almost makes it stick. Now it's a battle for traction out of a corner, but both the JML drivers, Kokocic as well as Silsix, are going to go for it. Kogucic has the inside line and he makes the move. The Haas driver tries to hang around the outside, but that's Kogucic into P8. But with the penalties which he has got, he's not going to finish in P8, it seems like. As further up, King is still trying his best to make his way past Adam Baker, and as it stands, King is not winning that battle. 3 laps to go after this one, and Murphy is still on the back of Black Wolf, but he has definitely closed up and he definitely looks much more confident than he did in the previous lap. Completely cuts the first part of turn 1, and that would have given him a warning, as Kogucic gets another penalty which takes him to 17 seconds. So that will drop him out of the points at this rate. And well, you can see it's raining, but it's not raining hard enough, so it's a bit of a weird situation here right now. But since it has been raining for this long, that's why the intermediate tires are necessary. Kogucic and CL6 are still trying to battle it out. Kogucic has the better of him once again, but it is not going to the plan for the AlphaTauri driver, who, as I said, was leading the race for quite some time, especially in the rise, and has shown good speed or good pace at the start of the first stint. But because of time penalties, he's going to finish down the order. Yano is also stuck behind Slimicam and JML and this whole train, but Yano having lesser penalties than the ones around them. But he's going to make a move on Slimicam. That's very, very simple, and it's done. It's Murphy now. Gets the 3 second. Oh, that's Slimicam. Slimicam. That is traction loss out of turn 1. Murphy has overtaken Black Wolf meanwhile, so it's all happening here. And King, out of all that, has got up to this pack. So as it stands, Miyake will finish in P2. He just has to keep his car on the road, but it's a real train behind Miyake, and that's because of the nature of the track and because we haven't had a lot of laps after the safety car restart. But up ahead, Ivan Belov is absolutely flying, and he has no worry in the world, as Oloman is now probably going to get overtaken by Kogucic. You can see Kogucic trying to make a move down the inside, and he makes it stick. And maybe Adam Baker can have a view of this as well, and he's going to go for it. He doesn't have a lot of space on the left, but he's going to go for it. He brakes late, and I think that is a really, really good move around the outside. And Kogucic and all that is getting excited, or it's still 6. Kogucic takes one more move, so that is him into P5. He's trying to gain as many positions as possible before the checkered flag, and that's because of his time penalties. But no matter how hard he tries, I think he's going to finish outside of the points because of his time penalties. But either ways, it's JML on the move, and we are on the last lap already. Ivan Belov has started the last lap, and look at the gap he has, 4.7 seconds to Murphy. So that is a really good lap. Kogucic goes down the inside of Oloman, was trying to at least, as Jason Gupta gets another penalty, so that's 9 seconds for him, and that probably will finish his hopes of finishing the points. But it's a real train of cars here. And is King going for a move right now on Miyake? No, he is not. Nothing doing for King or Miyake. Miyake goes a little bit deep, but Miyake is fine and he will have P2 I think in this race, since Murphy has a 3-second time penalty. What's happening behind? Are there any changes in position? I don't think so. You can see so many cars at once as GML 06 gets another 3-second time penalty, but across the finish line comes Ivan Belov to take the race win at Austria. Murphy will finish in P2, but his position will be taken by Miyake, who will finish in P2. Murphy finishes on the podium nonetheless, but Yano jumps a lot of positions because of time penalties for others. King finishes in P5, Oloman in P6, Black Wolf, the Mercedes driver, in P7, and Smarty, who was once upon a time a driver, one of the very few drivers without any time penalties, finishing in P8. Adam Baker in P9. Racing Gupta does get a point in P10. Both the GML boys finishing outside of the points, P11 and P12. They showed good spirit towards the end, fighting for positions in the intermediate conditions, but the time penalties had done enough damage. Slimmy Camp finishing in P13, and Leash finally across the line, had a bad safety car restart, is going to finish last of the finishers. So that's the Austrian Grand Prix for you in F1, or rather F4 of season 6. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll have a final look at the classifications once again before we close the stream. You can see everyone except the top two, and that is why they are on the top of the podium there. Ivan Belov and Miyake. Everyone else had time penalties, and that just goes to show how easy it is to extend track limits or cut corners on this track. Even though it's a short track, it's a very fast track, and that's probably why the racing is very good here, as you could see even in the wet conditions. But that's the race. Ivan Belov taking the win from Miyake and Murphy. Murphy again putting up a good haul of points to his name, and that would help him in the championship. So hope you guys liked this coverage of the Austrian Grand Prix in F4 division. I will see you next Friday for another race. Until then, take care of yourselves. Goodbye and good night.